all linked to one source. Just name a problem. Name any problem you got, right? I ain't got no money. Alright. So, where is the United States money going? It all leads back to one place. Everything wrong in this country all leads back to one location, one source, one circle. You know, you and I are fighting over Democrat, Republican. Why? Because of the news. Because of media. Who owns news? Who owns media? Man, back to that one source. Back to that one source. You know, our younger people are heavily influenced with the negative teachings of hip-hop. Negative, man. Who owns the music industry? Right back to that one circle. Every time we see a movie, right, they always have these stereotypes. The Latino is the gangbanger. The black person is the stupid thug. The white person is the racist. Who owns these television shows? Who owns these movies? Right back. Same circle. Man, I have seen on this app people calling black people the hard R. White people call them names, call Latinos names. The video be like 1,000 likes. You know what I'm saying? But who can't you say anything about? Anything. Even if it's 100% true, who can you not speak on? One group. That same circle. Same circle. So, these are hard times by the military, right? We are spread very thin, involved in a lot of wars and conflicts, right? For what reason? Are the reasons for us? No, the reasons are not for us. That one circle. That one circle. You know, when people get involved in religion, right? They get involved in religion and they want to better themselves. There's so much confusion embedded in religion nowadays. Embedded. So many underlying agendas embedded in religion nowadays. But why? That one circle.
Fair use disclaimer. Fair use disclaimer.
You hate Jewish people?
No, I don't.
Then why do you spew such hatred about them?
I mean, I was horrified to find that they mass murdered Christians. I was horrified to learn the things that they teach in the Talmud. I was horrified that they think that Jesus is burning in shit in hell. I was horrified that they think that the Virgin Mary is a whore. I was horrified to learn that they think it's okay to steal from Gentiles. I was horrified to hear that there's, two sets of justice. I was horrified to find out that they think it's okay to, gang rape Palestinian prisoners. I was horrified about all those things. I'm horrified that we're funding a genocide right now. So,
it's the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. Red letter. So this is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly call Jesus Christ, speaking. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Shalom. Before I go any further, I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rechak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops on down to the great millstone that do rule and teach well, that have taught us the correct understanding of the scriptures and prophecy through the Holy Spirit. Peace salutations to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the multitude scattered to the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Loyal with GMS Wisconsin. Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmal Shah, I can edify somebody. So I played two videos at the beginning of this lesson. The first one was from the YouTube page Arrows of Indignation. I don't know the individual's name in that video, but just pertaining to the second video that played, there's a common denominator that is being discussed, in these videos, okay? And of course, we have to use somewhat coded words so that, a lot of the videos we speak about, a lot of the lessons we bring out through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai can reach the four corners of the earth and, Lord willing, wake up the elect. Because we know Amalek, Esau, the top wicked elite, they control the media. They control social media. They control the platforms on social media. Okay. And with that being said, they're able to influence which videos stay up on YouTube. Okay. Or Instagram or X, Facebook, what have you, and what videos get taken down. Okay. But getting back to the topic, the first video, all right, it was of a so-called black man. Like I said, I don't know his name. He started to speak on things about how, you have certain areas of society that are disproportionately controlled by the small hats, man. That's who he was talking about, okay? And in the second video, okay, that man's name, the one that was being interviewed by Piers Morgan on I believe the platform is Piers Morgan Uncensored. All right, it was an interview that took place pertaining to things that were going on in the Middle East at that time. I believe it was around 2023 when that video surfaced. Okay, and that man's name was Dan Bilzerian. He's a known American influencer. Okay, and he was basically saying in that video how Amalek, all right, the small hats, they have major influence in America, how they control U.S. politics, how they control media, how they control finance. And the thing is, these things are 100% true, man. Okay, because America is bought out by the small hats, man. Okay, America has this undying loyalty to the small hats. And you know what? The world is waking up to it. The world is waking up to the fact that this place is bought and paid for, man. And they're given a script and told what to say and what not to say. Okay, that's why certain videos are getting taken down whenever you talk about Amalek, man. The small hats, the so-called 1948ers, man. Okay, how they control U.S. politics and they control the media, how they control the banking systems, man. Okay. All right, the world is waking up to you Edomites, man. Okay, and you can't talk about Esau Edom without bringing out the small hats, man. So getting back to the precepts. Okay, this is the book of Luke chapter 12 and verse 2. And like I said, Lord willing, I edify somebody. All right. Verse 2, it says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." See, so we're in the times where all the lies, all right, all the deception, all right, is being, all right, brought out to the surface, man. Okay, particularly through this truth. Okay, through the ministry, all right, by the mouth of the prophets, man. Okay, and Yahweh Shai said this. Of course, he was speaking about the wicked scribes and Pharisees, okay, of the ancient Roman Empire. But we can apply this to Esau Edom as well, man. Okay, because Esau has been given the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, and with that ability, he's been able to okay, perpetuate lies in the earth. He's been able to influence the masses to the four corners of the earth, man. You know? And the Lord has put the spirit on the prophets in these end times, okay, to point the finger and expose these devils for what they have done in the earth, man. So when it says there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed, all right, that's through a broad spectrum. Any lies that have been told in the earth, all right, those lies aren't thriving anymore, man, okay, because the truth is replacing it, as it is written in the book of 2nd Ezra. The truth which had been so long without fruit is being declared, man. Okay, it says neither hid that shall not be known, and that's being done through this truth, man. Verse 3, it says, therefore whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. All right, and we can apply this to the small hats, man. Okay, because they speak through their wicked counsels. All right, and their conspiracies, man, through their world economic forums and their communes with the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, how they use their riches and their money and their influence, okay, to control things, man, to control the narrative. How they buy people off, all right, to get their undying loyalty to them, man. Well, guess what? All of those things they have done in the dark, behind closed doors, is being heard in the light, and that's through this truth, man. All right. First and foremost through this truth, by the way of the prophets, particularly the prophets of Great Millstone, starting with Apostle Tahar on down, man. Okay? It says, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. That's through this truth as we go out on the highways and byways, okay? Us over here on the Western Hemisphere, okay? And of course you got Israelites in different countries, okay, but primarily speaking for us here on the Western Hemisphere, man, in North, Central, and South America. All right, as we go out on the highways and byways and fill up the internet with these virtual epistles, man, okay, this truth is being proclaimed. Amalek is being exposed, okay, or should I say Esau, Edom / Amalek is being exposed, because you can't, the elder apostle Gabar said it beautifully, man. You can't talk about Esau without talking about Amalek, man, because Esau is Amalek and Amalek is Esau, man. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 10, and it reads, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Okay, so being able to control the financial system, being able to control modern American culture, American politics, being able to control, what goes in and what comes out, okay, through the media, man, okay, being able to determine whether a person keeps their livelihood, okay, whether it's through Hollywood, whether it's through just having a basic job, man. Amalek has the power, okay, he's been given great power in the earth, man. And with that power, all right, the world has taken notice, okay, that these people have a lot more power than everybody else on the earth. A small group of people, okay. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. Because once upon a time, it was a secret, all right, what these devils have been doing behind closed doors. For example, all right, the sex rings, man. Okay, your Pepsteins of the earth, all right, your Ghislaine Maxwells, man, of the earth, man. All these politicians that are being exposed for being child PDF aisles, man. Guess what? You Edomites are being exposed, man. Beginning with you top wicked elite. And you will not be able to hide yourself anymore. You can't hide, because guess what? Esau's power lied in his ability to keep secrets, man. That starts with Amalek. It says his seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. All right, because the time is coming where the Edomites, beginning with the top wicked elite, will be utterly obliterated off the earth, man. All right, as it is written in Obadiah, there shall be none remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it, man. All right, let's grab another precept. All right, we're going to go to Psalm chapter 73 because we're getting on the small hats, right? And, of course, for the last 15, 20 minutes, I've been trying to, get on my tablet. And then all of a sudden, as I'm speaking about this particular topic, my tablet started acting funny. All of a sudden, my tablet tells me that someone from another server is attempting to tamper with my device. That literally came across the screen, man. Okay, so this is how I know, all right, this is the truth, because these devils, they don't want this information coming out. They don't want you telling the world that Babylon the Great is funding a genocide in the Middle East, man. They don't want you knowing that these people are bought and paid for through AIPAC. Okay, these lobbying political lobbyists in the political world, man, and on Wall Street or in Washington D.C., should I say? Okay, but these Edomites have a lot of privilege. They're ruling and they're prospering, man. Okay. The small hats are the privileged ruling class, and they have stolen someone's identity, and they are using, the fatness of the earth, their ability to rule the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above to rule in wickedness, man. Okay? This is the book of Psalm chapter 73, starting at verse 3, and I'm going to read on down. It says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." See, because when you don't have understanding, of prophecy, when you don't understand, that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, that there is a kingdom to come for the nation of Israel, you can get caught up in the fact that these devils are ruling the earth with an iron fist and they have privilege on the earth, man. But you got to understand, the Lord set them up, as it is written in Daniel chapter 4. It says, the Lord giveth the rulership of the earth to whomsoever he will, and he sets up over it the basest of men. So, all right, the prophet Asaph, he was actually a musician that walked with King David. Okay, he was this is a prophecy here speaking about Esau. He says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked," because he saw them spreading themselves as a green bay tree. All right, and that's exactly what they're doing now. They're trying, they have an agenda, to spread propaganda, and they want America to continue to fund a genocide in the Middle East, man. So this is the book of Psalm 73 and 5. It says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." This is talking about Esau, Edom, man. The so-called white man, starting with the top wicked elite. You small hats, man. The ones that are ruling and prospering over the earth. All right, when it says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Y'all seem to be untouched by regular problems, that Jake has. You ain't got to worry about your bills getting paid. You don't have to worry about your children being sent through college. You don't have to worry about, generational wealth, because you have stolen the earth in wickedness, You have stolen resources. You have went to other continents, and you have subdued entire countries and land masses, and have set up your propaganda and your wicked infrastructure, your wicked military to rule over people, man. You are the privileged ruling class, so you're not in trouble as other men. You're not plagued like other men. Verse 6, it says, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment." Speaking about Amalek, man. Esau, Edom, starting with Amalek, to the top wicked elite. Y'all are the Amalekites, man. And we know that through prophecy as well. We can grab a precept, Lord willing. We get there. But it says, "Pride compasseth you about as a chain." Your pride, your violence, your corruption. All right, this fits you devils like a glove, man. That's why you're able to tap into our tablets and our phones and try to stop us from doing lessons, as what just happened to me, man. It says, "Violence covereth them as a garment," because they're a cruel nation of people. Okay, if you look up the small hats and what they're doing over there in the Middle East, man, they're a very cruel nation of people, man. Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. Okay, so they prosper very greatly, man. When it says their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. All right, they're very rich. They fare sumptuously in the earth. They're trillionaires, man. Okay, your top wicked elite. Okay, your top banking families, man. Verse 8, it says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. And how do they do that, man? How are the top wicked elite corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression? They minimize. All right, you bring up slavery. Okay, they'll tell you, oh, get over it. It was a long time ago. All right, you're not slaves today, and nobody over here, none of us own slaves. All right, we need to all come together and get over it. You black people are this. You Hispanics are that. You know, and they're oppressing us as a people. They've set up, okay, and they've perpetuated poverty in America. They've set up the prison system, and they directly target so-called black and Hispanic men. And then when you bring it up, they try to minimize it. They try to deflect from it. So that's you speaking wickedly concerning oppression. It says they speak loftily. Verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. All right. And if you were to read the Talmud, man, if you read what they said about, I believe the individual Dan Bilzerian, he actually spoke about what they said about the Son of the Most High, the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. They said that he's somewhere burning in excrement and urine, okay, and feces. So they don't believe in the scriptures, man. But you know what they'll do? They'll tell you that they're the children, that they're God's chosen people, man. Verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth, because they rule the earth, man. All right. But what proclamation did the Lord make through the King David about these devils, man? The Lord was speaking directly to you Edomites when he said this. It's the book of Psalm chapter 50 and verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? This is talking directly to you Edomites, starting with you top wicked elite, man. Okay? Because you'll open up the scriptures and claim that you're God's chosen people. But you don't live according to the scriptures, man. You're the biggest liars. You're the biggest murderers, man. You'll literally drop bombs on innocent people, man. You're literally you literally have agendas that you're looking to fulfill in the next coming months and years, man. All right, and you're targeting. You're literally trying to lessen the population. Okay. Do we need to speak about Greater Israel, the Greater Israel Project, man? All right, I probably shouldn't have said that I word, but it's talking about Amalek, man. You can't claim the statutes of the Lord because you're not the Israelites, man. Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentedest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. And we can apply that to America, okay? Justifying Amalek, man, the small hats, okay? You know how they fund America, okay? They got America wrapped around their finger. Well, you know what? Esau, Edom, starting with the top wicked elite, they're the biggest thieves. They're the biggest adulterers. They're the biggest liars, man. And guess what? They're the ruling class, and they run the system, okay? Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit, okay? And they live deceitfully, man, okay? And one way we know that they are living deceitfully is through the act of prophecy. Okay, what the scriptures say, what these devils did, man. Did they not steal the land of Israel according to the Bible? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. And it reads, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, all right, non-Israelites, and against all Idumea, okay? And why did the Lord separate, all right, Idumea? Idumea is actually the Greek way of saying Edom, the Edomites, all right? Well, you know who the top Edomite nation is? All right, the top Edomites, Amalek, man. The elites, okay? The trillionaire banking class, the ruling top class, man. All right, the ones that control everything behind the scenes. All right, it says, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, Esau, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. And when did they do that? 1948, okay? Remember, you had things set up like, for example, the Balfour Declaration, okay? Where you had letters being sent over, you know, as an attempt to get these so-called Europeans in the land of Israel so that they can set up this propaganda and these lies, okay, to push the lies that they were God's chosen people. And coincidentally, around the same time, what did they do? They set up an embassy in Washington, D.C. in 1948. That happened right here in the land of America, in Washington, D.C., okay? So not only do they control the land of Israel, okay, but they control America as well, okay? And they have done a lot of wickedness in the earth, and they push a lot of wicked laws, man. Let's go to Luke 21 and 24. Here's another prophecy, okay, of them being in the land, taking over the land until the Lord, you know, forces them out through prophecy. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24. Red letter, this is Yahushua speaking. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. The they here is talking about the nation of Israel, particularly the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. This happened during the Roman Empire, all right, during 70 AD. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, because we were taken into captivity when the Romans knocked the walls down and pretty much surrounded us and chased us out. All right, we were led captive. It says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, the other nations, the heathen, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So you know what? Jerusalem is under heathen control right now, man. Okay? This is how we know the prophecy of Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it that followed. It all lines up, man. Okay? So they took over the land, all right? And the Lord is allowing you to rule that land, okay, until it's time for you to fall. And guess what? You've used your ability to pass laws and your ability to influence through your riches, okay? Through your infrastructure, through intimidation. You've been able to intimidate people into silence. You've been able to scare people into not telling the truth. Okay, because they can have you canceled, man, if you tell the truth about them, man. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 94 and verse 20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Okay, and how do they frame mischief by law? By pushing wickedness and using the judicial and legislative system to do so. You know, you can't say nothing about these people. Like the man said in that video, man, there's a particular circle of people you can't say shit about. Okay? You know, they'll make unrighteous laws and they'll legalize oppression at the same time, man. You know, for example, slavery, mass incarceration, you know, they push these unjust policies all throughout the earth, man. Verse 21, it says, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Okay. And who are the righteous speaking about here? It's talking about the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. Okay, this entire system, it is structured in wickedness, man. Well, you know what? The world is waking up to you devils, and that's what I'm going to title this lesson. The world is waking up to E. All right? Because everybody is starting to realize something is off balance here. Something ain't making sense. And it's ultimately the Lord making prophecy come forth. You devils are being exposed, man. Let's grab another precept.